Today we're opening Alpha Clash blister packs as complete newcomers to this game. We've recently been looking at the Vault Trials, which is a cooperative raid style expansion for Alpha Clash, but we're still very new to all of this, so we're really excited about it.
But instead of trying to do advanced gameplay or competitive analysis, we thought it would be more interesting to simply explore the cards, the artwork, the mechanisms, the overall style of the game from a beginner perspective. So if you're new or onboarding into this game, this might be a video to check out.
This is Legendary Tactics.
So for new players who are onboarding into the Alpha Clash universe, we think this is actually a very great place to get started because you can learn from somebody who knows more about the game and the rules. If you're someone like me who's an absolute newbie to the game,
and you can learn together.
And you can learn together with someone else who has no idea what they're doing. So what we want to do today is just give you sort of first blush, what do we find inside the spoils of the vault? We got some blister packs here, and just take a look at some of the basics you might need to know to understand this game.
So the game revolves around the contenders. This is Clarity. This is the one that came with this expansion, Vault Trials, and the one that I chose.
Zypherion, the next foil card here.
Yes. So these are really your main characters. All the other cards are sort of minions or whatever of these two characters, and they're going to be the most important ones. They're the ones you want to keep alive until the end of the game.
But most importantly, we have new packs of cards to add. So the game comes with 2 standard decks. This is 50 cards, and I have sort of this white background, and you've got
the black background.
Now, I'm really curious what's going to be in here, if it's going to be different colors or if they're going to continue in sort of the singular color theme.
Yeah.
So how about you open yours, I'll open mine, and we'll see what we've got.
I'll tell you, though, there was an interesting concept in the rules there that I thought was kind of an interesting way to use these blister packs if you have them. Now, the game came with 3 blister packs inside the box. We have some additional ones here. But check this out. You can open them right away if you want to. If you're one of those people who searches for your Christmas presents, early or anything, something like that. But actually, one of the things that they suggested was, why not use it as a reward or an incentive?
Ooh.
So if you beat the mission, you get additional cards as the spoils of the vault.
Oh, that is
I thought that
really
was
clever.
Kind of a neat
well, you know
idea.
what? We've got some here so we can save and do those
maybe
for that.
save some of them.
Why don't we open 4 packs each just to give a really good sense of what you'll be getting if you decide to invest in these. And part of the fun of these games is honestly like collecting the cards and opening them up, and this is pretty cool. So let's take a look at what we got here.
Okay.
Who do you have?
Okay, I have Conquest. He's this kind of Frankenstein-like character. He's pretty powerful. Awesome. But yeah, he looks very intimidating, or he could be like Lurch from the Addams Family, something like that.
Nice. Yeah, some nice eye makeup on him.
Yes.
Very good. No, actually, the very first question we had is answered now. So here's a green back. We've got a blue, a red, a blue, another red.
Yeah, I've got a red.
Are yours all the same?
I have 2 white, a red, a green, and a blue.
Okay.
So they're multiple.
The minor change that will add to the game is that when you're spending the cost, you can see like this guy, for instance. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera up there, but there's 2 red sort of gems under there, which means my resources, I have to have at least 2 red resources to pay for him, but then I would still need 1 additional of any color.
Yeah.
So when you introduce these new cards, you just have to be aware of that mechanism.
Yeah, so what have you got here?
Well, check out this foil.
Oh, nice.
So there's actually quite a few foils, like even like this card here. It's got that like shiny background. That one not so much.
I've got a couple in here.
And this appears to be the same character. So
interesting.
That's cool, but just
different cards. Now I got the same one, except mine is a foil. Check that out.
Oh yes. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they come in both. Yeah.
Same card.
That's cool.
And then Pestilence. So this is again same kind of character that way. War-torn battlefield looks like a kind of a cool battlefield, and this looks like an action card of some kind. So. Yeah, but very interesting visuals. I mean, there's a lot of characters that seem to be recurring and there's minions that seem to be recurring.
Quite a wide visual range, too, I would say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots going on. There's Mr. T.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got him here.
He looks like the guy from Street Fighter.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it
that's true.
Zangief, or what was his name?
Oh, yeah. Was it the Russian wrestler guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
cool.
That's
Okay.
true. I hadn't thought of that.
Sweet. Shall we move on to the second
Yeah,
pack?
sounds good.
All right. All
All
right.
right.
So one thing you'll
not the
notice
same
is that there's a lot of text at the bottom, a lot of keywords, and as new players, I noticed that there's all kinds of effects and interactions, and without understanding all of these interactions yet, it's clear that the game has a very deep mechanical structure.
Yeah, well, the game is all about these interactions and
That's
how they come together with the different characters and the contenders and everything else. That's the game. So,
and I think there's a lot of like synergies and timing and different character abilities that go into this. So, which of your characters looks the most interesting there?
so this one looks, I think, the most interesting off the bat. So he's got a trigger on an attack. Damage dealt to the target can't be prevented this turn. So that could be useful if you're trying to take down an enemy that is would otherwise be have some sort of effect or something that would block it, but it's unpreventable damage.
Okay, interesting. I've got this danger detected card. So this is just a basic action card, but you flip the target face down and an accessory face up. If it has ambush, then it gets sent to the oblivion. Otherwise, return that card to its owner's hand, and then they have to discard a card. So,
Wow.
yeah, it seems like a sort of an advanced warning system.
Yeah, cool. I like this. Look at that green guy with the foil.
That's cool.
Kind of has
Nice.
a
Rather
nice lightning
mischievous.
effect. Yeah, well, it kind of, it's like lightning, but it has that, the foil makes it kind of pop a little bit. And we had that card in the last pack as well.
And here's a close-up on that fella that you had in your deck. Conquest, Harbinger of Domination.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you had him in the first one.
in the
He was
first one, yeah.
the dude with the eye makeup.
Yes. Where is he here?
There
That
he is.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one. Yes.
Okay. Neat.
Very cool. All right,
Okay.
our third pack.
Nice. Gotta love the rustling these packets make.
High quality microphones.
Listen to that
amplify
great
it. It's so
rustling.
nice.
Okay.
It's so funny.
wow.
I immediately just go to the foils.
I know.
They're just there's so many of them.
I
Like,
know.
Normally
Well-
you have to open 3-4 packs to
Yeah.
just get one of these, but
Looks
in
like
here,
there's 2 per,
yeah.
basically. So, yeah. So that, I think we had that one before, did we not?
Yeah,
I think we did.
Just a slightly different styling, a little darker theme before. So
Yes. Vantage point. Oh, we got that green dude a couple times.
check out Shadow Blade here.
Oh,
She
wow.
looks super cool.
And really strong,
yeah,
too.
a 5 attack.
Ooh.
3. That's right.
Only
so-
Conquest can defend at with the 3 to 5.
Oh
3 and 5.
wow! Okay, the Shadow Blade. Cool.
Wow.
She comes from Mechadralia.
Oh, interesting. It's my hometown.
So if your contender is Shadow Blade, you can remove 2 bounty counters from target card. If you do, this card can't be obstructed until the end of the turn.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
when she enters.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
pretty cool stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what's also
Last
interesting
pack. Yeah.
is thinking about these cards as they might pertain to the Vault Trials, especially as a cooperative deck. Because normally I'm thinking about how can my card defeat yours, but in fact, it's how can we synergize with each other to
Yes.
take down these baddies.
Yes.
So
Now, what's interesting is with all these different colors. Oh, there's a kind of a neat foil. Check that out.
Ooh, nice.
That's kind of a shocking image.
yeah,
A little
the artwork
bit.
is
There's some
just-
flying eyeballs there for track them down.
That's awesome.
Going right to the foils again, but
Yeah, of course.
But what's interesting is I think what these cards will do is it's the opportunity to build additional synergies that wouldn't be contained in sort of the base deck. Because again, these are all black cards. Yours are all white.
That's right.
But now adding in some cool cards from the other colors and seeing if you can discover any sort of interactions that'll work especially well versus the Guardian Angel, right? That is really probably the game and what will make this an interesting thing to kind of fit everything together.
Right. So for me, like when a character gets sent to the Oblivion, whenever a Death Clash card enters, so this is Death the Victor, and you play them from your Oblivion, this card gets a boost until the end of the next clash. So some of these characters who are being resurrected then are going to come back twice as strong. Maybe not twice as strong. That
Yeah.
they're going to come back with a bigger punch. So that's awesome.
Neat. Oh, that guy's, yeah, look at, he's laughing at something. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Oh, is she beating up
death.
on this guy in that image?
Yeah. So that could be
one
good.
Is a black, so that would be maybe tied into this deck, into Clarity's deck.
Okay.
And in fact, maybe that's her.
Wow,
think
she
that's the
let the
same
hair
character.
loose.
Yes. So I think that
Not the strongest attack defense, but
but that would be
yeah.
one that you could build in right away, and it would work with this, with the synergy. Now, the interesting thing about deck building with this is that you need exactly 50 cards.
Right.
In other games I've played, like Netrunner especially, like usually they give you a minimum amount, and you usually want to keep to that amount because most times you're going to lose efficiency in having a larger deck. And so having it at 50, it is what it is, right? You can't muck around with that at all.
Right. But you can tailor your deck to more defense or more support or more survivability or even more team coordination.
Yeah, because in this game, if you run out of cards, if you need to draw a card and you don't have a card there, then you lose. So you can be beaten up and lose all your health, or you can run out of cards. So having 50 cards sets a certain length of time on the game, and you have to be sometimes careful about card draw because you don't want to burn through your deck and mill your deck too quickly, because that could be a bad scenario for you.
It's really interesting to come to this as new players and be opening these packs and really have no idea how these synergies all work, but still be excited about the possibilities that you could coordinate by creating a really cool deck. But it is nice to start with a pre-built 50 card deck.
This was super
all the
nice.
same, so that it's a pretty straightforward entry point.
Yes, this was super nice just to say, hey, you know what? You can have a one-on-one battle. If you don't want to play the cooperative game, you can battle these two decks.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's right.
But you've got something right out of the gate. If you're brand new, I think that is huge, because then at least it's about figuring out this deck. And once you figure out one deck, then you can swap, and then you can learn that deck. And then once you figure out those decks, now you can add other cards from the blister pack, or try another expansion or something along those lines.
That's right. So those are our first impressions of opening the Alpha Clash blister packs as complete newcomers to the game. So we thought it would be more valuable to look at it that way than from sort of the competitive tournament level analysis. We just wanted to explore sort of the basic mechanisms, the themes, all of that. So hopefully that's been helpful to you.
Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to get out there,
Get gaming,
and be legendary.